Dr. Li Dinggang has become the last hope for hundreds of cancer patients from all around the world. He's using a drug called Gendicine, which has only been approved for use in China. Its advocates claim it's remarkably effective.
Most of our cancer patients has been at advanced stage or terminal stage cancer. In here, we try to use the Gendicine with other therapies.
I think I'll be absolutely cured. I think I'll go cancer-free.
Philomina Moniz and her daughter Rainda Ribeiro have travelled to Beijing from Perth. Mrs. Moniz has a 4-centimetre cancerous growth behind her bladder, and the cancer has spread to her abdomen. The prognosis from her doctors back in Australia was bleak.
They said to us, best case scenario, if she opted for no treatment, 3 months, and if she had the chemotherapy, 6 months. So they could not control the spread even with chemo.
So if she had not come here, how would you have rated her chances?
No chance.
Like most foreign cancer patients flocking to China, Philomina Moniz found out about Gendicine on the internet.
People were not too happy about me coming to China. Even the doctor said, "Do you really want to go to China?"
Gendicine is a type of gene therapy. Doctors inject it directly into a tumour. The drug is a combination of a gene called P53 and a virus which carries the P53 gene into the cancerous cells. It's mostly used in combination with other treatments like chemotherapy.
The P53 gene will directly kill and destroy the cancer cell.
Although trials to develop similar drugs also using the P53 gene are being conducted elsewhere in the world, some Western cancer specialists express doubts about Gendicine.
In cancer medicine, more than any other area, I think it's always important to allow for hope, even in the most extreme cases. But we must always be vigilant in the medical profession against false hope.
Professor John Rasko researches gene therapies at Sydney's Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. He argues Gendicine has not been subject to thorough enough clinical testing to back up the claims made on its behalf.
Over 50 human clinical trials have been undertaken using this form of technology, and yet there's still no compelling evidence to convince regulatory authorities in all countries except China that this is a routine form of therapy that should be introduced.
Dr. Peng Zhaohui invented Gendicine. He acknowledges that his test results have not yet been published in a major international peer-reviewed medical journal. He says he expects to do this in the coming year.
Why are there not other countries smashing your door down and saying, quickly, give us Gendicine, you know, you've discovered the cure for cancer?
Yeah, it's an issue. In my opinion, some wise people have some doubt for a new innovation in China.
Professor Rasko warns that foreign cancer patients are taking a risk by travelling to China for Gendicine therapy, which takes months.
At the very least, it can mean that people are wasting their time, spending time that could otherwise be spent enjoying themselves. At the worst case, people spend their life savings and possibly bring on considerable suffering from unexpected side effects when they undertake experimental therapies like this that remain unproven.
Travelling to China for Gendicine treatment is also certainly not a cheap option.
Each injection costs 600 Australian dollars. Mum gets 2 injections a week, one into her abdomen and one into her tumour. So that is going to be $1,200 a week. So far we've been here 5 weeks. We've spent Australian $30,000 on treatment. By the time we're done, we're looking at treatment cost of $100,000.
After 5 weeks in Beijing, Mark Moniz arrives to take his sister's place. It's a long process, but according to Dr. Lee, Mrs. Moniz is a strong patient.
I think maybe 8% possibility for her to get the benefit, get the good result from our therapy.
80%?
8%.
But when the results come in after 8 weeks of treatment, they're not what was expected.
I thought it would work for me, and I've seen people walk out of here cancer-free. So with all that, I really had great hopes and expectations. When he said that the tumor is grown, that was a little bit of a disappointment to me.
If we didn't use the Gendicine, if we didn't do the local injection of the Gendicine for her, maybe this cancer will grow so very quick, very big, much bigger than now.
Dr. Lee has given Philomina Moniz a series of new treatment options, but his big gun, Gendicine, has not worked for her. She goes home to Perth knowing that she's not beaten cancer the way she'd hoped. Though her trip to Beijing has been a huge financial and emotional strain on the family, they have nothing but praise for Dr. Lee and Gendicine.
I don't regret coming here because at least I can say that I've tried everything in the book.
A lot of money is pouring into this hospital from international cancer patients. As the word of Gendicine spreads, the demand for the drug increases. Dr. Lee's department is expanding. Later this month, a new wing with 50 beds will open. Western doctors may say the treatment here is unproven, but desperate cancer patients are prepared to give it a try.